Welcome back to Copy and, the marketing podcast where I teach you how to write copy that sounds like you, but converts better. And today I am joined with Sarah of Between the Lines Copy. We connected on Threads. We've connected many a time over the years, but we connected recently on Threads where I often feel like I am just screaming into the abyss when I talk specifically about AI. And I worry that it comes off ranty. So instead of ranting on my own, I invited her to come in for a conversation. So let's start off with a quick introduction. Sarah, introduce yourself.
Oh my God, hi. I feel I'm the perfect person to invite for a rant. Like when you said that, I was like, yeah, I'm ready to. I don't know what we're going to rant about, but it's going to be something, and I'm ready to be like your side character for the rant. So here we are. But for those of you that don't know me, hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a website copywriter and marketing mentor, an unapologetic squirrel, and I will be swearing. That's like what I show in my title slide of my workshops. And now when I introduce myself, it's like knee-jerk reaction. Those are the things that I say. So unapologetic squirrel means I'm going to talk fast and I'm sorry. Well, actually, I'm not. I said unapologetic, so I take that back. I will be talking quickly and I will be swearing. And I hope that's okay on this podcast. That's it.
It's 100% okay. We are a potty mouth house over here.
Okay.
So 100%. So I listened to your podcast, which I encourage everybody to go listen to.
Thank you.
Very fun. Feels like a yap sesh, like I'm out walking with a friend.
Yes.
And you start yours with squirrel questions. So I came up with squirrel questions for
I'm
you
so excited.
of my own. And we'll see where we go from there. Both, I think what we may have missed there is that we are both copywriters and we are both very aligned on the way that we see copywriting and the purpose of copy. So we'll see where it goes from there. First, squirrel question. I see you're drinking something. Tell me about it in detail.
If we're on video right now, you guys would see that there are squirrels on my cup. I was like, if just in case it's on video, I better choose an on-brand cup right now. I'm drinking a chai latte today because that is my moment.
And you have like an in-house coffee shop situation
I do.
Going on. Tell me about that.
I'm a famous coffee hater. I call it nasty bean water because I think it's vile and disgusting. Like I wouldn't even share your ice cream with you if you had coffee ice cream and you put your coffee ice cream spoon on my ice cream. Like I'm throwing mine away. Just my personal preference. I'm not a hater if you guys like it. I know I'm the outlier. So I started when I bought my house a couple of years ago, my at-home coffee shop, or I called it Anti-Bean Water Cafe. It was like what I put on the particle the first time I invited my friends. And I just was going to do it once. And then it got shortened to Bean Water Cafe because it sounds better than anti. And then everybody liked it. And they were like, wait, can we come back next Tuesday though? Like this was fun. And I was like, oh, sure. Like I wasn't going to have a whole spread. I was like, you could just come hang out and we're going to work. And then now, ever since, every single Tuesday, my friends come over and we work. And then about once a month, once every 6 to 8 weeks-ish, I will host a bigger one with a theme. So my next one coming up is in a couple weeks and it's a farmer's market theme.
Oh, that's so fun. That's so fun. Okay, so squirrels, are they like your thing or was that something that somebody labeled you?
Oh, I don't even know. That's a great question. I think that somebody may have labeled me that. Shout out to them, whoever they are. I don't know who it was. I just feel that I am one, squirrel as a human because I do have raging ADHD. And that is a big part of my brand as well. So I don't know when I claimed it. I honestly think it was when my podcast started because I have a little squirrel with a microphone and I talk a lot about ADHD on the podcast specifically. So I think that it's always been there, but it hasn't always been a moment. And now it is a moment. So I am the squirrel.
You are the squirrel. One. She is the moment.
Exactly.
Let's talk about your business. What is the first thing that you were paid to write?
Ooh, the first thing I was ever paid to write was a blog for $50. Well, there was two actually. I had two first clients at the same exact time. So my first blog for client A was about hospitality. He was a hospitality consultant. He worked at Forbes and helps hotels be better. And it was a blog about that. And then the other blog was about the difference between a mini-moni, an elopement, and a micro-wedding for a wedding planner. And I don't remember the difference.
Do you have strong opinions? Okay.
So all I know is I'm never getting married again. So that's my end.
There you go. Yeah. We're eloping later this year and people keep asking me like, so who all is going to be there? And I'm like, I feel like I see an elopement as like.
Elopement is an elopement. It's the two of you
I'm
going somewhere.
I'm doing.
Yeah, I guess I do have strong
somewhere.
opinions about this because I'm like, clearly an elopement is, it's the two of you and whoever's marrying you and maybe a photographer and you're off the grid somewhere. And then a micro wedding is like a mini baby wedding. And then a mini-moni is an even minier version of that.
I don't think I've ever heard mini-moni before.
That's definitely giving wedding industry, like you only would hear about it if you're planning a wedding. If you're like really researching it. And also this was like 2019. So that was maybe very 2019 of a thing.
Yeah, could be. Because then all the weddings got small in 2020 and then
true.
I don't know.
True.
Here we are, one blink and 6 years later. Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Yes. Okay. What is your favorite question to ask on sales calls?
Oh, wait, on sales page? Like if I'm writing a sales page?
No, on sales calls, like when
Sales
you're on a sales
calls.
call.
I gasped before you were done because I was excited and then I didn't hear the question.
Okay, answer both. Answer both.
Okay. Oh, period. My favorite question to ask on a sales call is to ask a client to describe whatever they do or offer to me like I'm 5. But then, this is an important caveat to that answer, then to ask why not when they inevitably say, I can't say that. Because they'll tell me, okay, I'm like, explain what you do to me. And then they explain it and then it was perfect. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I love that. Why can't we just say that? Or they say, usually like 85% of the time, they're like, but I can't say that. Before I even have the question or have the reaction to the question, they say, but I can't say that. And I'm like, why though? That was perfect. So that's my favorite question to ask is why not? Because then their face is like, yeah, why not? Why can't I say that? And then they have a moment of realization that they're awesome and perfect. So I like that. And then my favorite question to ask in terms of like sales page, period. Why wouldn't somebody want this? Because I think people do a lot of work to think about why somebody would, but we also need to care about why somebody wouldn't. So we can either like delete them as an option, you know what I mean, and not write to them, or make sure that we're addressing that objection and, get them to want the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I was just on a sales page this morning because I'm thinking this is such what's it called? Back end information? Hidden information.
Oh.
I'm thinking about changing my ESP.
Oh.
Just issues right now. And I was going through somebody's page and they're an OBM and they were like, it wasn't in this is for you, this isn't for
Right.
you. But it was her only options just very much discluded me. And I was like, wow, I think I spent less than 12 seconds on that page.
Yeah.
I clicked on services, saw her 2 options, and I was like, that's not how I want to work.
And then you said bye. And then
If this is a thing, I was like, I need you to stay here forever. I don't want to handle my own ESP.
Yeah.
I'm a copywriter that doesn't like handling her own email service provider.
Right.
So yeah, the why not
it's important.
is just as qualifying and just as powerful. We saved her so much time getting on a sales call.
Yeah. And you saved yourself so much time scrolling.
Yeah. So much time. Okay. Final squirrel question. What is your most recent hot take on AI and copy?
Ooh. My hot take about hot takes is that if they're not hot, get the fuck out of my face. That's my hot take about that.
Also this.
I knew that you agree about that. About AI and copy. I don't think anything that I have to say is like, or it shouldn't be a hot take. And my hot take is stop. Stop trusting it to give you an answer that's different than an answer it would have given somebody else. I think that is something we don't talk about enough. Is like, whatever, if you want to use AI to write, that's your own problem, blah, blah, blah. If you don't give a fuck, whatever. But don't act like your chatty knows you so well and isn't giving the same answers that it got from learning the internet to somebody else. I will never forget one time I was helping somebody think of a name for their newsletter. And it was on a call. And we were talking about, it was like a newsletter strategy situation, which is something that I teach. And so we brainstormed all of the stuff. And then they were like, okay, now that I've used my own brain, you can check ChatGPT to see if there's any other ideas, whatever. They check. And, one of the names comes up and they were like, oh, like that came up in my search. And I was like, yeah, girl, I wonder why. Like you type in, it doesn't matter that you and I live in a different country, different time zone, have completely different AIs. If I type in the same thing as you, I'm going to get the same answer. So if another tech VA wants to name her newsletter, guess what? And she goes on ChatGPT just like you guys are going to have the same newsletter name. Like it's giving everybody the same info. So I feel like you really need to work on differentiating yourself. That's my moment with that in not to your AI. So I don't think that should be a hot take, but that's what I got for you.
Yeah, so somebody told me yesterday that, because I don't dabble too hard in AI. I have both Claude and ChatGPT. I don't use it for client work. We can talk about that. But somebody told me yesterday that their AI and my AI wouldn't give the same answers because it understands them and mine would understand me and my habits. And I don't even know what my question here is, but like, do you know anything about that? / is that true?
I mean, I do think that if we both went on, like, didn't log in to free version of ChatGPT. Obviously, it's going to give like probably the same exact answer. If your AI is trained for you and mine is trained for me, and I say in my very specific prompt, and I were to say like, write it in my voice or whatever, it probably would give me a different answer than you, but it would be coming from the same bigger overall wealth of knowledge that it has, which is just info from the internet, like everybody else's knowledge, and they just are a bot, so they can scan it faster than we ever humanly could, or it's humanly possible for us to be able to do so. So maybe it would give a different answer if you trained it more, but it's not giving you an answer that's like proprietary that it's never given anybody else. You know what I mean? So like you have no idea if it would be, copyright infringement. Like you would have to do your own research. You can't just take what it gives you and assume that it's like made for you. It might be curated for you, but it's not yours alone. Like if somebody else is similar vibe as you, like if you and I were the same personality and we trained our AI bot to quote unquote write like me, but we write in a similar way, it would give us the same vibe.
And I'm even thinking like a step back here as far as like, let's go back to research. If I'm visiting Cape Cod and I type in like, give me the 3 best cafes that I should go to, it's going to give me cafe A, B, and C.
Yeah.
What I'm like genuinely curious about is it going to give you different cafes because it knows that you want chai and matcha and it knows that I want espresso-based drinks?
Oh, I think no.
Right.
Wait,
like,
should we try?
Like, we could try.
Like, should we just type it in and see what it gives?
We could try. Let me pull up my ChatGPT.
Okay, I'll
Let's
pull
see what
mine
it
up.
says.
So let's type in the same prompt then. I'll type in, give me,
Okay.
like, no, not give me. Tell me the 3 best coffee shops on Cape Cod. Without even hitting enter, by the way, I know these are going to be wrong.
Okay.
Like, I'm positive as a Cape Codder, they're going to be wrong. Like, these are not the 3 best coffee shops.
It's going to be like, go to this dunks, that dunks, and the other
Literally.
dunks. Okay, that's what we're typing in.
Okay.
Tell me the 3 best coffee shops on Cape Cod,
Yes.
period.
Okay.
Okay.
You tell me yours.
I'm not in any specific GPTs.
Mine's just regular old ChatGPT. But if you don't use yours, I don't know if I use it more than you use it. I don't use it. Well, we can talk about what we use it for. Maybe we should discuss that. But I feel like mine knows enough, like knows me a little. It's like I'm not going in blind.
If you're judging by a combination of coffee quality, vocal reputation, atmosphere, and consistency, these would be my top 3. Snowy Owl Coffee House.
Okay.
Nirvana Copy Co.
Okay.
Coffee Co., not Copy Co. Oh my God.
She's like, I love that copywriters.
Yeah, we should go. She's still thinking about number 3. What is yours have so far?
Oh my God, you're chatty slow.
Oh, here it goes. Great Awakening Craft Coffee.
Great Awakening Craft Coffee is a church coffee shop. Fun fact. So love that for your chatty. Okay, mine.
Like one of those cold tea ones, like
No.
Yellow Door Coffee. Do you know about these?
I don't know about Yellow Door Coffee, no.
It's called the Yellow Coffee Shop or Yellow Door Coffee Shop. I listened to an entire podcast about it one time. Basically, it's a foot in the door into a cult, and everybody that works there works for the cult, and they don't get paid.
Oh my God.
Because all the profits go into like, it's like indentured servitude, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of fucked up.
That's insane.
So anyway,
nope,
I hope
not one of those.
I hope that's not this one.
Okay, so mine gave me Snowy
Okay,
Owl.
tell me your top 3.
Snowy Owl as well. But I do have to add the context for this specific example. I have asked ChatGPT this question a couple times before because I run a Cape Cod Instagram account where I recommend drinks. So that maybe this actually is a good example because I do have, like mine has more information about me in this exact topic. So mine gave me Snowy Owl as well. And then it said why I'd send you, but clearly it doesn't know me. It says best actual coffee quality. I don't give a fuck. I'm not drinking that. And then it said coffee obsession, which is good. And then 3 fins. Did you say 3 fins on yours?
No, but it has it in my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
It has both.
My honorable mentions is Nirvana, Hot Chocolate Sparrow, which is a disgusting chai latte, in case you guys are wondering. And then a random one in Provincetown that I can't pronounce.
Okay.
Interesting. So
Is it Kohi? Kohai?
Yeah. I was like, I'm not going to try one.
Okay, yeah, that's one of my honorable mentions. Okay,
So we got the
so
same
that kind of starts to answer that question. Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah. I feel, I
That
mean,
even though yours knows you and you're like, I would literally not drink that coffee or I would not drink that your chai.
yeah.
It's still giving very similar responses, which I think about a lot in terms of like how dangerous it is for people to just pull copy that they're like, oh my God, this does sound like me because I told it to be punchy and funny.
Right.
And then people who didn't tell it to be punchy and funny are like, oh, okay, this is really good because it's actually simplifying my language. And that's what I was looking for, was for it to sound more academic. And I think it's like when you read the like horoscopes in the back of Teen People back in like the year 2000, and it's like, you're right, I am such a Libra.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
And it's like
you would have said the same damn thing if you were a Gemini.
Yeah,
Seeing
exactly.
yourself in it. I
And
feel
that's-
our control group, like our question, like maybe wasn't the best example because we're asking them to recommend a place. And if we had said like, give me a name for my newsletter or like write a, write a hot take copy tip or something, like maybe that would have been a better test. I feel maybe it probably would give different things. But what I was trying to say is that it, like, you can't just take it at face value. And so many people do.
Right. Yeah, 100%. And it's not just the answer that it's spitting out, it's the way in which it's spitting it out.
Yeah.
And I think that's a frustrating thing to look at as a copywriter. And on the flip side of that coin, I was reading a book, Die with Zero, and it was written in 2019. And I was reading it the other day, and it was like, you don't need this. What you actually need is that. And I was like, oh my God, this feels so AI. And then I looked at the copyright, and it was
Prior.
before language learning models had come
Right.
out. So it's also funny that the prose in which AI writes, no matter who you are and how much you train it, there are going to be similarities.
Right.
And there's a risk in us all kind of sounding the same. And it's like when you look at a car parking lot right now, all the cars are white, black, and tan.
Yeah.
And you look at a picture from the 1960s and the cars are yellow and red and blue and they've got stripes down the side as stock.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think we're generally losing our color when we're
getting beige.
We're getting beige by just trusting that what it puts out is not only factual, because that's a question mark, but also that it's objectively good.
Yeah, that period. I mean, I think it's objectively bad, but for a lot of reasons. But I also think in general, like even not naming a specific tool or even like referencing a language learning model specifically, like people don't want to use their fucking brain. Like we are so sick of using our brains. Like I cannot stress enough how stressful that is to me personally. Like if we take a second to think about it, it's giving me hives. Can we use our brain? Like what's going to happen when nobody uses their brain anymore, but we still have to exist as a society and, you know, run countries, make important decisions? Like, are we going to be like, hold on, let me ask my bot in my pocket, like, help? That part. Creativity is getting diminished.
Yeah.
Critical
thinking
getting diminished.
But like, okay, so what are you doing to like play with your creativity right now?
Man, I'm so glad you asked. Wait, I have the perfect thing. Hold on. I had to squirrel away. I'm holding a basket. Okay, you asked me this at the perfect time because June is Creativity Month in BTL world. So every single year, I have this basket. I'm going to explain in a second. Every single year in June.
I thought you were making the basket.
Something in the basket that I'm going to share with you. June is Creativity Month for me personally, every single year. So a few years ago, I read a book called Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. I feel he might be like canceled. I don't really know. It's not about him. He gathered 1 million experts in, I think it was actually his podcast. And then he basically just transcribed his podcast into one giant book and put the best advice from all the people he'd interviewed into a book. So there's this guy named James. He talked about exercising your idea muscle. And he talked about why that's important and why he essentially developed this method where if you can't think of 10 ideas, you have to think of 20. Because you need to get past your brain's like caveman primal fear of, you know, just fear period, but fear of embarrassment, fear of, oh, I'm going to be stupid, whatever. Like your brain is blocking you from your good ideas if you are like nervous to write them down. So he forces you to go from 10 ideas to 20. I force people to go to 30 because I'm direct. So I started doing that. I started sharing that. And I just, you know, that was about the month of June, 1 million years ago. And then the next June, I was like, that was fun when I was like obsessed with these random journal prompts from this man. So let's do it again. And then now every single year I get more and more intense about Creativity Month. And this year I would argue I'm the most intense and I have so many props I can show you. You didn't know you were getting a speech on this question.
I love this. Okay, when you pulled out the basket, I was like, oh my gosh, basket weaving.
Oh,
like, wow,
no,
you
my
did
God.
it, but it's not about the basket. It's about what's in the basket.
Oh my God, I did not weave this basket.
Okay,
I purchased at the Brimfield Antique Market for $15. But anyways, and it's like supposed to be a purse, I think, but instead it has my Creativity Month prompts. So I have lots of props right now. So what I did is I cut up little blue squares of all these random things that I could be doing, and I pick one a day for Creativity Month. I think there's actually more than 30, but whatever. Okay, let me pick a random one. This one says, do a prompt from Creative Block, which is my other prompt I have to share with you. Okay, it's this little block thing, and it's 1 million like little pieces of paper, as you can see. And every single paper has a different thing. So this one, like you pull it out and it says, draw your happy place. This one says, turn me into a butterfly. One says, design a futuristic hat. And it's, you just interpret it and do like whatever. So I have that. A bunch of the other ones say like, do the watercolor book, which I also have. Oh my God, so many props. I have this cute little watercolor book and now I'm watercoloring. I have like one that's write a poem, and on my desk right now, stacked under this microphone, I have so many because I'm in the process of writing a book. I have so many of these writer prompt books. One's for writing humor, character, memoir, dialogue, all that good stuff. So if you want to know what I'm doing about my creativity, everything.
But that's huge because I don't think most people sit down and realize that, one, we're giving away our creativity when we ask the internet to tell us things.
Right.
There's a difference between tasking AI with something and letting it do the thinking for you. I think those are two very different things. And then also that like we don't think of it as a muscle that we need to, like, what I write for my clients, what I write for myself is not the pinnacle of what I can write.
Right.
And I know that because I spend other time writing journal prompts, you're writing a book.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Like, and I have other opportunities to think about things by like going outside and touching grass and talking to strangers.
Yes. Oh my God, I love talking to strangers. I just got new neighbors and I'm pumped. I cannot wait to like walk over there with my cookies. Also, it gave me a great idea. I don't know if you saw my response. I posted on Thread and basically said, what should I bring my new neighbors? And Sam commented on it and said, what did you say? Like a list of local favorites and things to do. I thought that was so nice.
Like make them a little personalized
Yeah.
list of like, hey, I saw you had kids. Here's our favorite playground. Hey,
Yeah, I'm totally going to
this
do
is
that. I thought that was
where
such a good
we
idea.
should get coffee.
And it's so like, I'm very
Yeah.
sentimental.
And follow your Cape Cod Instagram.
Yeah, right. Follow my Cape Cod Instagram. That's a good one. Yeah, I'm just very sentimental. So I know like myself, if I got that, I'd keep that list forever. Like the person who gave me local honey, it was for like when I moved in, was from their yard. Like they have bees. Gave me their local. And then they had a little note that was like, happy you're on like X street. And then they signed it and they drew little like paw prints for their dogs. And it was like from, you know, Janie and her husband and the dogs and whatever. And it's like on my little bulletin board in my kitchen and it has been ever since.
Yeah. That is precious. When my neighbors moved in, I made a plate of cookies and some other things and took it over. And they opened the door, grabbed it from me, closed the door, and never gave the plate back. And it's the most awkward thing. So I'm really excited that your neighbors are far more close knit.
Oh my God.
Than
I have seen, well,
yours are.
They look to be about my age.
Because I think I'm like you, where I'm like, hi, new friends, we're going to have tea. And I'm like romanticizing everything.
Oh, I'm inviting her to
just like,
Beanwater Cafe. I have a plan. They closed on their house today. They're around my same age and they were like in their front yard, clearly, you know, about to make their offer. They were there with who I'm assuming is like their dads doing their final, like, okay, should we buy this house, whatever. So I'm walking to school with my son and I was like, be cute, say good morning. And then like, so whatever, we walk by and he's like, good morning. And he's, you know, 6 at the time. So he's waving and he's like all cute with his little backpack. And I was like seeing us from their eyes. Like they were probably like, and she's pregnant right now, like very visibly pregnant. And I was just like seeing us like, look at that suburban family walking to school. And I was like, I would want to move in if I saw that. We were like such a scene. It was so funny.
Yeah. Very quintessential.
Bring back human interaction.
I love it. Truly, truly. I go home and my mom embarrasses me because she talks to strangers so much. But then I realize that when I'm not at home or like my partner's really introverted, then I go out and I talk to people pretty aggressively too. And I'm always just like, oh, I very comfortably in my 30s am becoming my mother. Yes.
It's me. I'm my father, unfortunately. And I have always been.
Nobody in my family has ever met a stranger. My dad has been known to meet somebody on a plane back to Des Moines, Iowa, where he's from. And the person next to him will stay the night at his house rather than getting a hotel because that's just too much.
No, I've had the same experience. Mine is the
just like,
hotel. That's a bit dramatic. But I have made many a relationship on a plane. I got some time.
Truly, truly. So before we recorded, we had talked about how AI is also like overdoing it. And we don't need to necessarily wax poetic on AI, but also it's so freaking prominent in our industry right now. And it's giving us like too much often. Right. And something that I had mentioned was specifically these like fucking brand voice guides where clients will turn over. They're like, oh, don't worry. I have an excellent brand voice guide. And it's like 86 pages that are like 99% unhelpful.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I have a question for you, but are you experiencing this? What's our action item here? It was like, what can people do differently or better? Is it better to just not have one?
I was going to say, they could just...
Where are you at with this?
So my question as a copywriter, like if I had a client give me an like AI generated brand voice guide, which I have only had happen one time, I would be questioning if they read it. And I would be questioning if they are aligned with it. And I would be questioning if they actually want their brand voice to be that. Like basically, you can tell instantly the way that it's formatted, like where you got that. So if I saw that it was like clearly AI drafted, like whatever, live your truth. Again, you're not a copywriter, so that's why I'm here. So maybe you were doing it to try and help yourself. Like I don't want to shame anybody for the tools they're using just because I like am against their tool. But if you're the type to want to pay to work with me, like you're probably not using it. So whatever. If I got that, I would feel the need to verify, like, hello, do we like this information? Like, are you aligned? Did you read this? Like, I would just be questioning. But I think in general, like AI or not, having a massive brand voice guide, this is the closest thing to a hot take I have for you, is I don't think they're necessary, period, for a client. And I don't know if you do this, but I don't require them for website copy. I know a lot of copywriters do require you to have a brand messaging guide or they'll make one for you or whatever. As a copywriter, I do think it's easier, like makes my job way easier if I've made a brand messaging guide and now I'm writing your website copy because I'm like, okay, sick. There's like a million things in here that are approved and like bomb for headlines. Like I just wrote a website copy draft for a ADHD and executive function coach and I did a brand messaging guide for her. I call them brand messaging book because that's more me. But I did that for her, and I was like, had too much to work with. I was like, oh, this is sick. Like her website copy is going to be done in 2 seconds because I have so much great content in here. But unless you're using that to like board a like junior writer or a social media manager or like teach your team like how your voice sounds or whatever, I don't think like regular girly who just wants a website and is going to move on needs a brand messaging guide, period. AI or not. Because what are you doing with that? Probably nothing.
Probably nothing, or training it to,
It's gonna say that.
like, training your AI.
Yeah, I was gonna
like
say, if you have a
create a
copywriter
Claude
make one
skill
and
or
it's gonna,
whatever.
then yeah, sure.
Yeah, or what I think a lot of people do is they're like, here's my favorite emails that I've ever written. Here's like somebody else's website that I like.
Right.
Like, how do you describe this voice? Okay, now like create a skill. And then they're like using that to train their AI. But yeah, what you use to train your AI is not the same thing as what you use to train your copywriter.
Exactly.
What I will say is I love working with people who are doing rebrands or have done one
And they have like
recently,
brand designer,
because they've
brand
usually
strategy.
worked with a strategist.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
That's
and they're like, it's not even their job to pull out the words, but they're pulling out like the most chef's kiss perfect headlines and like branding statements. I would rather have that than.
I would also rather have like a brand designer's or a brand strategist's work, obviously, than a bot. But I also think like even with the guide, it's hard. And maybe I'm just a copywriter, so just like this is something that lives in my brain. And if I weren't a writer, I would find this helpful. But I don't really see how people like then go use it. Like you found out that your voice was playful. And like then you like I include sample sentences in mine so you can literally see how to do it. And then I'm writing like I don't know what if you make them period or what you include in yours, but mine is like quite lengthy. And I know we're talking shit about lengthy ones, but it has like a different bio for every single situation. It has your potential tagline options, mission statement options, like a whole guide about your voice. But I would say mine is honestly more focused on who your audience is, who your competitors are. I do a big competitive research one in mine. And then like sample copy. And then I have 1 page about the voice. But if it's like fucking 30 pages about the voice, I don't know. I just feel like, what are you using that for?
Yeah, well, and
if you're already not good at
like,
writing,
oh, I
how's
have
that
a
gonna help
really
you
like
write?
authentic, playful, like educational voice. It's like, the fuck does that mean though? I need examples of what that is, examples of what that isn't.
Yeah.
Like somebody will send me something and they're like, here's my brand voice guide. And it's like, okay, but like, do you use emojis? Like, this is important for me if I'm writing your emails. I need to know like what's approved here or not.
Right.
Yeah. But
it's not
can
necessary.
I say the F word?
Yeah, right. Can we fucking swear? Actually, it was so funny. I had a client the other day. He was like, I really like your website and it makes sense for you, but I'm a child therapist, so just so you know, I won't be swearing. And I was like, thank you. Like, I gathered that, but thank you for bringing it up. It's fair. Like, people will have to break the news to me. Like, just so you know, no swearing on my site because I have so much on mine because that is just how I talk. Like, it's just me being authentic. Yeah. But I think it's funny when my client's like, by the way, and I have to be like obviously I'm not going to be an asshole and be like, yeah, I know that. It's like, I know we're not swearing on your site. Like, I appreciate that you're making this clear to me. It's just funny that they have to like break the news. No swearing.
Yeah. No, it's not news to me that you and I are not the same person.
Yeah, which I do feel like sometimes, I don't know how you feel about this, me interviewing you now. I feel like sometimes people like my voice and they're like, I want you, but my version. Like, I want you, but my industry. And I'm like, all right, I could do that. Curious, do people say that to you?
Yeah, I get that a lot, especially for emails. Is like, I want my emails to sound like I'm writing a note to a friend the way that yours do, which I can do. The way that I describe that to people is like, Picasso is not Van Gogh. So like, I just don't work in like med tech.
Yeah.
Because I am just like way too fun.
Yeah.
I don't have a strong niche, I wouldn't say. But yeah, I get that a lot. And it's like, I can Picasso in blue, I can Picasso in green, I can Picasso in red, right? But I cannot Van Gogh, is the way that I see it. Because I'm not for everyone, and that's okay.
Period.
And the way that I write for myself is the way that I love to write. Yeah. So if you want really long form homepages,
if you want every word ever
else.
Yeah, I would say I don't even have a brand voice. I just have a voice that you're hearing through the brand. Like, I've never developed any sort of brand guide, any sort of anything for myself. Like, my voice is only documented through what I've written.
I did once because I was trying to see what the hype was about with Claude.
Okay. Did it work? Did you
like it?
Like, did it work?
Tried creating a... No.
Okay. Like, no one is using that.
How much time do I have to spend to save time using a tool like that? Just doesn't quite click with me. I'd rather...
I mean, clearly a long time. For some people, though, it's worth it. For some people, though, it is worth it to spend the time. But I am impatient and neurodivergent, period. Like, I don't even want to train a person, let alone a tool. So,
Gosh, you said something a few minutes ago and I should have taken notes.
I'd be saying on.
Oh, so you train copywriters.
No.
Do you train them on business or do you train them on how to write better copy? And I ask in the context of I teach non-copywriters how to write better copy.
Okay.
So I'm curious, like, where our philosophies kind of cross over there.
Oh, the simplest way to answer the question would probably be business. Like, I teach them how to run a copywriting business. But if they need help with copy, then we talk about that as well. So every Friday I do Feedback Friday. And they submit their copy to me and then I'll edit it. And then I'll explain why I changed the thing or I'll tell them what needs to be fixed. So I feel like, yes, I'm also teaching them how to write better copy, but it's through editing what they've written. Like I have a copywriting course, a website copywriting course, and I have a copywriting basics module in that. The copywriting basics you could just buy on its own. But none of the people in that group program did it that way. That's why I'm saying it like this. So I don't teach about that. I do have a live program I teach twice a year about how to write website copy, and that part is writing copy. But yeah, I would say I focus more on business, and then the copywriting skills come from the editing.
Yeah, because I've run into it where I would love to hire a junior copywriter, and I have a complex where I don't think anybody is as good as me for the specific clients that I serve.
I can confirm that your fear is true. Because if you feel like that, well, for two reasons. Number one, if you feel like that, nobody's ever going to be good enough for you. Like, if you genuinely believe nobody is going to be you, then like nobody's going to be you. And that is just your truth. And that is also my truth. And then the second reason I know it's true is because I tried that. So 1 million years ago, and by 1 million, I mean like 5, I tried the concept of like working with a junior copywriter, and I worked with 3 different people, and I tried to have them do some white label work for me. And I always was transparent with the client at the time, by the way. I feel strongly about that. Some people aren't, and that's weird to me. And anytime I've ever white labeled anything, I've told the client, and they've been like, cool, because I'll always edit the final product anyway. And they've been like, sick, 2 copywriters for the price of 1. And then I pay that person their full rate. So I don't do that anymore, but just for context. So anywho, nobody was ever me and they suck. And that, I was pissed. But obviously, if you're trying to work with a junior copywriter, clearly they're not at your level, because if they were at your level, they would be charging the same as you and they wouldn't be white labeling. And it's not their problem that they're not at that point in their journey. You know what I mean? It's also not their problem that they don't have your same writing style, don't have your same knowledge, don't have the same brain as you, whatever. I'm not trying to be offensive to the junior writer, but it requires a lot of training, I think, if you want them to be you, and they just can't. So I decided very quickly that I absolutely do not want to do that, because it's more work for you to train the person and then edit their work. And then also one time I had the person not send it to me on time, like that I needed it. And I was like, oh my God, now I have to do the whole thing, when I had mentally not had to do anything for that. And it's just so much management. I hate managing people because I'm a very right now person. I'm impatient. I want it done right now, and I want it done the right way, which means I have to do it. So I found that it's better for me to outsource other stuff, like the admin stuff, the tech stuff, whatever. So that's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Junior writer.
Yeah, that's exactly where I am at. I admire people who, like, it sounds like you can train people not only on the business, but on the copy skills. And I admire that. I love that you can do that. And yeah, I was once an agency. My website still says agency, and it's not, because
your agency, like,
it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. And I feel people do it because they think they have to scale that way to make more money. Girl, I want to keep all of my money. What do you mean? Like, I don't want to pay anybody out. The idea of having more volume and then more things to manage, like, in theory, cool, you make more money, but like, not really. You have to pay all of these people, and it's so much time.
Yeah.
But what do you?
Yeah, it comes back to the like raise your prices conversation.
Oh yeah.
I think if people can do it and they like the management and all of that, great, go do it. There's nothing in my eyes that's unethical about running an agency. It just was not for me, because exactly like you said, the time and the stress that it took from me did not decrease by having somebody else do it, but the money for me decreased. And I was like, well, this is,
you were like, I hate everything.
Silly goose behavior.
Yeah, I agree with you. If it's something you like and something you're good at, more power to you, queen. Go ahead with your agency. That's awesome. Yeah. For me, no.
Okay, let's wrap up. I have no more squirrel questions for you, but scream something from the rooftops. Give us a mini rant.
A mini rant.
What's on your mind
about
before
copy?
We wrap? About copy.
Oh my God. I have so many that it could be. Well, I'll give you my like classic go-to. Somebody asked me a question on a podcast mini rant, because I'm really trying to spread the good word about this one. If your about page headline says about, we have a problem. You and me, personal beef, because you can do better. And I would like you to act that way. About me, about us, meet the team, our story. Get the fuck out of my face with that. That's what I'm screaming from the rooftops, because you can do better and you can make it better and you can.
Tell me better. Give me examples.
Oh my God. Okay. I have an example ready to go. One of my clients a million years ago, this time the million years I'm referencing was probably 3. She was a photographer and she really wanted to communicate that you could feel comfortable in front of her camera. Okay. This particular photographer, she was cool and fun. And she mentioned somewhere, I think it was on her questionnaire, she like doesn't want people to have to ask what should they do with their hands. So I have to pull her website up to like give you the direct quote, but her about page headline literally says, "What should I do with my hands?" And the reason I'm giving that as an example is because like obviously it's so niche and specific. It's not like something you can copy. It says wedding elopement and family photography for people who want to stop wondering what should I do with my hands. It's good because it's attention grabbing. And the what should I do with my hands, for context, like if you're a visual person, is big. And then everything I read before that is tiny and on top. So your eyes will go to the what should I do with my hands first, because everybody has dealt with that struggle of like, okay, what the fuck should I do with my hands? And they don't want to look fucking weird in their wedding photos. So everybody can find an experience like that and use it. Like none of it's going to be a template for anybody to use. Like it's all going to be specific to you. You know what I mean?
No, I totally do. And what I like that you did there is you still had the keywords of like wedding and elopement photographer. Like you're still being pragmatic about it. It's not all personality, but when somebody reads it, they're going to see personality before they see pragmatism.
Right, exactly. And I feel like another example, I wrote a website for a dietitian, and hers says, you don't want to work with a registered dietitian who tells you to skip happy hour. And then under that it says, or shames you for anything related to food, alcohol, or fun for that matter. And again, focusing on their very specific, unique experience that you know they're having or they're feeling when they come to your site. So we definitely don't have to skip the keyword of it all. Although I am of the opinion that unless somebody is Googling about Sarah Joelle, my about page should not be the thing that's ranking. You need to be the best answer to the question, the best solution to the problem. If my about page was not SEO optimized and it was optimized for the reader instead, I feel like that would be fine. If your homepage and your services page were showing up for what you wanted them to show up for.
Yeah. And especially in the last month, there have been so many changes in the SEO conversation that it's so important to, like, anybody can Google, find me a good US-based copywriter.
Right.
Like looking for a woman, like whatever. And you and me and 1,000 of our best friends would show up like in that Google search or that AI search. So having the like personality in there, having the like the long tail keywords and the way that people are searching for things right now is like, I just want an elopement photographer who's going to make me feel really good about myself, who's going to tell me what to do with my hands, da-da-da-da-da. Like people are searching in paragraphs at this point. So the copy itself is the standout factor.
The moment.
It's always, this is the copy and podcast, right? It's the copy and SEO, the copy and the personality, the way that everything ties together.
Some of yourself in there. That's it.
Tell me what?
I said add some of yourself in there.
Tell me yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Period.
100%. Sarah, thank you for coming on. The classic end of podcast question is, tell us where we can learn more about you.
My God, where can you find me? You can go to betweenthelinecopy.com, girl, /links, and you're going to find everything. I also have a podcast if you're interested. It's called Point of the Story. You can find that, anywhere, or betweenthelinescopy.com/podcast. And I yap my ass off on Threads. I would say if you want to see the most active platform, I'm BTL Copy everywhere, not to be confused with BLT. I am a copywriter and not a sandwich. And that's that.
We love it. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Bye, friends.